Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my entry into the IT Cosmetics Your Most Beautiful You contest. And basically this contest, they really just want to see what makes you feel your most beautiful you. So today I'm going to be using majority of products are from IT Cosmetics. If you've been a watcher of my channel from the beginning, literally my very first video consisted of almost all IT Cosmetics, simply because I have been a huge lover of this brand for a very, very long time. But in my everyday routine, I don't use all products from IT Cosmetics. So a couple things will be tossed in along the way. But this look is definitely something that you can wear every day. My most beautiful me, if you will, sitting down at my vanity, whatever you want to call it, and just having the ability to kind of play around and however I'm feeling that day. You know, that's the great thing about makeup, cosmetics overall. If you're having one of those days on the inside where you feel kind of crappy, having a bad day, you can really jazz yourself up, go a little bit over the top just to make yourself feel a little bit better on the outside so you can feel a little bit better on the inside. And then on days where you're feeling really good about yourself, maybe you did a really nice face mask the night before and you wake up and your skin is absolutely glowing and you look gorgeous, you can just do an everyday, natural, glam kind of look. So I'm going to stop talking and let's just get started. So the first thing I'm going to start off with, I've never tried this before, but I know, especially with the IT Cosmetics brand, I've never had any adverse reactions to any of their products. So I'm going to try, this came in the little gift box that I had received from IT Cosmetics. This is the number 50 Serum Collagen Veil Anti-Aging Primer. I've mentioned this before, but the main reason that I love IT Cosmetics, they put so much thought and so much research into their products that you're really getting the best of both worlds. You're putting on makeup to help you feel better about yourself, but you're also taking care of long-term benefits. And I'm just pressing this primer in, by the way. But the long-term benefits that you're going to get from using IT Cosmetics products, because they are created in tandem with plastic surgeons, estheticians. So the next thing I'm going to use the Your Skin But Better CC Plus Color Correcting Full Coverage Cream. Because this has an SPF of 50 plus, it's not just that. If you read just a little bit lower, this says that it is a broad spectrum sunscreen, which I like to have the ability to put sunscreen into my foundation routine. I don't necessarily want my foundation to have sunscreen in it. So I like to use this almost as a base. You do get a really good amount of coverage from it. So if I'm just doing a no makeup look, I'll put this on, but it doesn't give me enough coverage to cover up some of the issues I'm working with right now, as far as spots and whatnot. So I'm just going to apply a pretty decent layer. I'm not going real thick with this, but I want the coverage. You know, the extra coverage helps, but really what I'm after with this product is the fact that it has the SPF 50 plus in it. And I always make sure to take this especially back on my ears and down my neck a little bit. Again, because of the sunscreen in it, a lot of people forget about your ears and coming down the neck, but it's very important. I am going to go in on top of that with a layer of foundation. I'm using my obsession at the current moment. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I'm in the shade 105 Natural Beige. So I don't need a whole lot of this foundation since I already have a nice base down as far as coverage goes. And I do spray my brush with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. Instead of spraying it all over my face lately, I've really been liking putting this on my brush because it does, especially with this foundation, it does sheer it out a little bit. And because I am going on top of an already existing base that has coverage. I don't want to get cake face from this. Now, especially in the areas where I do want to get a little bit more coverage, I make sure that I really press this into the skin. That way it gives me the most coverage. So I go back over as the last final step with my Beauty Blender, just to push everything in. Now, I normally use the Bye Bye Under Eye in this form, which is the Corrector Concentrate Cream. But I've been seeing it in this little tube as of more recently, and I really want to try this. So this is in the shade Medium Neutral Medium. And I'm going to use this today for my under eye concealer. And let's see if this one does anything different than this one. Now, I do know that a little bit goes a long way with this product. So it's always better to start out with the least amount that you think you're going to need. Oh, I like this. Oh boy, I might have to buy one of these. So with my finger, I get it placed where I want it, and then I'll press it in the rest of the way with my Beauty Blender. I'm going to dip my Beauty Blender into, this is the NYX HD Finishing Powder. So I just kind of bounce my Beauty Blender on this a few times. And then this is what I use to set my under eye concealer. I have, before they called it baking, I tried that method many times. For me, it makes me look like I am a 94-year-old woman. It just doesn't set right for me. So just taking a very light layer like this works perfectly. All right, just to highlight a few other places on my face, I'm going to take the Maybelline, this is the new Super Stay Better Skin Concealer. I'm using light, and I'm just going to use this just in a few other spots here on my face, just to kind of even it out, because you don't ever want to just highlight your under eyes. And then before I move on to my eyes, I'm going to take this Heavenly Luxe Wand Ball Powder, and I'm going to dip that into Celebration Illumination Foundation. And I'm just going to dust this lightly all over the rest of my face. You guys have rarely ever seen me no brows, but because I have raved so much about the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Universal Eyebrow Pencil and Universal Transforming Taupe, I wanted to show you guys truly how amazing this pencil is. Now, because I ran out of this guy for a short period of time, I was forced to use a few other products that I had on hand. So I don't use just the pencil. I find I have a better time, I'm gonna put this hair back because it's driving me nuts. I find I get a better application if I start with a powder as a base. If I start with the powder as a base and then I go over top of it with a pencil. But if you notice, this eyebrow, at least I can get my arch to here. Whereas this eyebrow, it stops right here. Don't ask, it's been years my eyebrows have been like this, because when that whole thin eyebrow phase was in, I took it to a whole nother level, and now they refuse to grow back. It's very depressing, but moving on. So First thing I'm going to go in with, this is the Bodyography Trio. I think it's just Essential. It's a brow trio. It came in one of my monthly subscription boxes. So I take the lighter brown shade and the Taupe shade in the trio. And I just start brushing that through the front part of my brows. And I noticed that doing it this way, my brows look a little bit more natural. Whereas before, if you've noticed in like other videos of mine, they look super defined and carved out. And that's because I have to really try to make one eyebrow look like the other. And some days it works out for me and some days it doesn't. Alright, so I was able to at least get my brows to this point using just powder. So now what I'll do, I'll go in with my pencil. The only thing that's taken me a little bit of time to get used to, I think the pencil that I had before was the skinny version, and this one, the tip of it's a little bit fatter. So that's giving me, but this is where it actually blends my hair and then no hair together. I love this eyebrow pencil so much. Okay, so moving on to the eyes, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I really just focus this more so on the lids than anywhere else. But I will run it through the crease just a little bit. I find that this really helps my eyeshadows to stay in place throughout the day. Not that I really ever have problems with most of my shadows. They don't crease or because I have such dry skin. But it's a really good base just to start out with. And I find that it does help make the eyeshadows look a little bit brighter, a little bit more intense, like their true colors. So I'm going to use two palettes today for my eyes, both from IT Cosmetics. This is the original Naturally Pretty palette, which I just recently received from IT Cosmetics. And then this is the later version, which is the Celebration Naturally Pretty palette. So I'm going to be using both. The first thing I'm going to do is, in the original Naturally Pretty palette, I'm going to take my MAC 247 brush, which is just a really nice flat shader brush. And I'm going to define the brow bone just a little bit with Sheer Joy. I always highlight my brow bone first. And then that way if I need to touch up after I'm done with everything else, I can. But I at least like to get some on the brow bone. Okay. This is a Luxe 205 brush. I'm going to dip that into Warmth from the original Naturally Pretty palette. And I'm going to run that all through the crease. I'm just going to put this down as my transition shade. And next I'm going to take, this is the IT Cosmetics, what is this? No Tug Dual Eyeshadow Brush. And I'm going to dip the fluffier end into Java. And I'm going to take that onto the outer portion of the lid just to kind of define it a little bit. And once I get the product placed there, then I'm going to take my MAC 221 brush and I'm going to dip that into Sunrise and Sunset. And just work that into my crease. And then I'm going to take, this is a Morphe M433, and I'm going to take Sunset, get my brush in that. And I'm going to go a little bit above the crease, just a little bit. And then I'll go back through and blend that out. Now for the inner part of my lid, I'm going to take Love and the Transforming Pearl shade. And I'm going to use that to brighten up the inner portion of my lid. And then I'll just kind of blend it back. Now on the other end of the dual brush, the smudger end, I'm going to take Java. And I'm going to run that along my lower lash line. And I like to be a little messy with it. It doesn't have to be too precise because I'm going to blend it out with a pencil brush here in a minute anyways. And then I'm going to take Sunrise on a pencil brush, and I'm just going to blend that out. And then I'll go back in again one more time with the Java shade just to darken it up just a little bit. The last thing to finish up, just the bottom of the eyes. This is the No Tug Waterproof Gel Eyeliner. But I like to put it on the smudger brush instead of applying it directly to my eye with the pencil, just because it creates a little bit more of a romantic kind of smudged out look as opposed to having to put the eyeliner down on your eye and then smudge it out. I just put it directly on the smudger brush. And I only bring this in maybe a quarter to a half of the way. I don't do this on the whole bottom lash line, just because I feel like it opens the eyes up just a little bit more. Okay, so we are done with the eyes. Now I'm going to go back and finish the face. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Smashbox contour palette. I kind of blend my contour up a little bit, simply because if you notice on like Jaclyn Hill's channel, they all tell you to bring your contour pretty much to the center of your eye, but that for me literally is right here. It's almost to the corner of my mouth. So I have to bring mine, you know, I stop maybe right about here to the outer corner of my eye, and then I just kind of blend it up a little bit so that it still gives that contoured look. I'm going to take the Live, Love, Laugh Vitality Disc from IT Cosmetics. And I'm going to take this Kat Von D brush, and on the bronzer contourish kind of side, I just kind of dust this up lightly to kind of pick up where the contour left off. Then I'm going to take the blush on a Tarte blush brush, and I'm just going to start to push this in on the apples of my cheeks, and then I'll blend it out. And then on my Morphe M501 brush, I'm going to take the highlighter side. This highlighter is very subtle. And I'm just going to put that on the tops of my cheekbones. It's perfect for an everyday kind of highlight. Lastly, I will finish up the eyes with my mascara. I don't know why, but I like to do the rest of my face before I do mascara. Is that weird? Probably. So I'll curl my lashes. So for my top lashes, I'm going to use the Hello Lashes from IT Cosmetics. I've tried this a couple of times. I really do like it. I feel like the formula is a little, it's not what I'm used to, because it's not wet, but it's not dry. It's very hard to explain. But I love the way it makes my lashes look. It just takes me a little while to And then I'm going to use the Tightline Full Lash Length 3-in-1 eyeliner, primer, and mascara. This has become my use everyday mascara. even if I'm doing the natural makeup look, it's every single teeny tiny little lash. But even when I'm doing full makeup, I love this for the lower lashes for this same reason. So I think I am going to go in and line, oh my god, my frizzies are out of control. I am going to go in and I'm going to put this Tarte liner. This is Skinny Smolder Eyes in bronze something. Bronzagate? I don't know. We'll just call it bronze. Lastly, we're going to finish up with lips. I'm going to take this NYX pencil. Is this natural, I think? Yes. And I'm just going to line and fill. I overline just a smidge on the top. I just lightly fill. Nothing real heavy. And then I'm going to go over top with, this is a Vitality Lip Flush in Je ne sais quoi. And there you have it, guys. That is our finished look. I hope that you all enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Another big, huge thank you to IT Cosmetics for the opportunity, and a huge thank you to you guys for watching. I will leave the information linked down below as to how you can vote for the It Girl contest. I would certainly appreciate your votes so much. But that is all for today, guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Argan